within a Tobo village community along the Japanese highway.
Tell me more about the platform.
This platform, called Focal Online TV Daily Edition of Inside the Print Media, does not encourage any form of dialogue between the viewers and the presenters.
Oh, you mean nobody calling there?
No, you can't call on a show. Let me talking out like when we're no calling there. So all you can do is you will listen to the news, and they can also encourage you to buy the newspaper to listen to the news in details.
But do you do viewer recognition at times?
Oh yes, we do viewer recognition. When you are watching, we notify you, and sometimes we even appreciate you on a show, telling you thank you for always following us. We also encourage you to share the live stream, because the more you share the live stream, we transform and we transition ourselves as a broadcast team as well.
Wow. So when can I better get this program you are talking about?
This program is aired every Monday to Friday at 10 a.m. to 10:45. The program runs for 45 minutes.
Wow.
And guess what?
Wow.
We bring you hot stories of our trending situation within our country, Liberia. Imagine hearing stories from Hot Pepper newspaper, from the Daily Observer newspaper, from Front Page Africa. Are you a lover of Front Page Africa?
Oh yes, I'm a lover of
Front Page Africa, and the Women Voices, and a lot more. Not forgetting international news, BBC,
Wow.
CNN, ABC News. We bring you headlines from those standpoints.
Wow, that is very, very, very amazing.
So we say, join us every day on the daily edition of Inside the Print Media at 10 a.m. with the headlines of top stories in our country and the world at large on Focal Online TV.
Okay, good morning, fellow Liberians. Good evening, good afternoon, whatever you are watching us from. This is how I choose to simply welcome you to the program Inside the Print Media, where we will be giving you information taking place in Liberia. So we have a lot of newspaper in our hands this morning. We have the Daily Observer newspaper, we have the Front Page Africa newspaper, and lastly we have the New Dawn newspaper. So these are three top newspaper we have in our position, and let's take a short break. When we resume, we will definitely bring you content from these three newspapers. All right, good morning. Welcome back to the program Inside the Print Media. Let's run strictly over to the Daily Observer newspaper and see what we have for the Daily Observer newspaper. Lawmaker calls for robust enforcement of copyright laws. Lawmaker calls for robust enforcement of copyright law. So let's see who is doing that. As LIPO Director General commits to revitalizing Liberia creative industry. Bernard Benson, a long-time entertainer turned politician, has called on the Liberian government, especially the Liberia Intellectual Property Office, LIPO, to institute robust enforcement of copyright laws in the country in order to safeguard the rights of artists and combat privacy effectively. Benson is currently representative of Montserrat County District 17, delivered a passionate speech at the event marking World Book and Copyright Day on Tuesday. Expressed concern about the challenges faced by the people in the creative industry in the face of privacy, and emphasized the detrimental impact of copyright infringement on the creative industries. I stand here today very angry in my spirit as a music producer, singer, and a record label whose copyright has been consistently and persistently disregarded without any support from the Liberia Intellectual Property Office, he said. I hope that the new administration will be different so that the office, which is charged with protecting our work, will not feel us miserably. He said that the scourge of privacy which happened in broad daylight across Monrovia and its environment cast a dark cloud over our cultural heritage, siphoning away the fruits of our labor and stifling the creative spirit that define us as a nation. The intellectual property has for too long turned a blind eye to the insidious threat, allowing it to thrive unchecked in the broad daylight of indifference, he said. Representative Benson's advocacy for the right of creators and the importance of holding intellectual property laws resonated with the audience, urging unity among creators in advocating for stronger enforcement against privacy. His call for action from the Liberia Intellectual Property Office to address privacy and protect the rights of creators reflects a commitment to nurturing a cultural respect for intellectual property. With specific reference to the pros of the event, the internationally acclaimed disc jockey DJ highlighted its significance of books and copyright in preserving cultural heritage and nurturing creativity. He underscored the pivotal role of authors in shaping Liberian identity and urged the Liberia Intellectual Property Office to prioritize the protection of intellectual property rights. As we reflect upon the importance of book under the global theme, Real Way, it reminds us all of the unparalleled ability of books to transcend boundaries, imagination, and foster empathy, he said, as he's made celebratory references to the Liberian authors and scholars, from the proud works of Bati Mo to the insightful prose of Wilton Sankara. Liberian authors have continued to leave an indelible mark on our collective consciousness, serving as the custodian of our collective wisdom, preserving the past and illuminating the pathway, he noted. As the commemoration of the day sheds light on the legacies of those literary luminaries, Benson reminded Lipu not to come to ignore the stark reality that the flourishing literary scene that those legends left behind to continuously illuminate the nation's intellectual landscape has now dimmed as fewer Liberians engaged in poverty, creating a dangerous vacuum for future generations. This sad reality robs the current and future generation of the chance to connect with the cultural heritage and shape our own narrative, the lawmakers said. Imagine where we could have been today if Baltimore, Wilton Sangaolo, or other great Liberian authors had not seen the need to give us access to the wisdom of their ages. Benson asks rhetorically, how are we going to learn from the triumph and tribulation of those who came before us? Our confront challenges with resilience to navigate complexities with clarity and a vision possibility beyond the confines of our reality. It was going to be difficult. Why the situation of the 1940s to 1960 that gave birth to the Liberian literary renaissance is quite different compared to now, considering the impact of the Civil War and digitalization. Benson said the Liberia Intellectual Property Office, even though its administration is about 3 months old, should refuse to accept the diminished pace of our literary industry. LIPO Director General Gama Kobo at the occasion expressed a commitment to revitalizing Liberia literary industry. She, however, highlighted the challenges faced by the industry due to digitalization and the privacy, emphasizing the need for modernization to protect authors' rights. Kobo announced plans to launch an e-service registration portal to simplify the copyright registration process, making it more accessible and efficient for authors and publishers. This initiative aims to ensure that creators receive the recognition and benefits they deserve for their creative work, reflecting on the legacies of renowned Liberian authors and the power of education. D. Kobo encouraged Liberians to support the literary industry by purchasing books and upholding intellectual property rights. She emphasized the transformative impact of literature is fostering creativity, understanding, and the unity within society. She called on Liberians to celebrate and promote respect of intellectual property rights, underscoring the importance of a vibrant creative ecosystem for sustainable development. By working together to protect intellectual property and support authors and creators, Liberian can cultivate a culture of innovation and appreciation for the art she noted. With this being said, this is how we move over to another headlines on the Daily Observer newspaper. War Crimes Court audit to top Speaker Office 100-day progress report. War Crime Court audit top Speaker Kofa's 100-day progress report. Moving a step closer to bringing undue justice to the victims of serious abuses committed during the two civil wars, the House of Representatives under the gavel of Speaker J. Fonati Kofa voted to establish the War and Economic Crime Court. The two conflicts between 1989 and 2003 was widespread atrocity, including massacre, rape, and the use of child soldiers. The House unparalleled decision is one of the new cultural acts of openness developing on Capitol Hill since the election of Speaker Kofa, who promised reform during race as he embarks his 100 days in office on April 25, 2024. Kofa assumed authority of the lower House of Representatives January 15, 2024, the same day the 55th legislature came into being. The establishment of the War and Economic Crime Court, supported by the Senate, is now before President Joseph Liman Bwaka for Senator and printed into hand to become a law. In addition to advancing justice for war victims, the House had approved an audit by the General Auditing Committee to ensure compliance with legislative directive and enhance transparency in managing public funds. This audit, the first in over 67 years, demonstrated commitment to upholding good governance practices within the House of Representatives. Speaker Kofa called for access declaration by legislators, and the initiation of the audit process marks significant milestones in promoting accountability and integrity in governance operation. These two landslide decisions of the House of Representatives on Speaker Kofa Gavels are part of his 100 days progress report, including scrutinizing and passing laws of critical national matters to enhance the economy and empower the Liberian people. Meanwhile, for the first time since Liberia's return to democracy in 2006, after declaring his access to the Legislature Anti-Corruption Commission, Speaker Kofa called on his colleagues in the 55th legislature to follow suit and declare their access as prescribed by law to the LCC. Also, for the first time in 68 years, Speaker Kofa has worked with the GSC to kickstart the process of auditing the legislature. Friends and foes are expressing satisfaction over Speaker Kofa's remarkable leadership and his capacity to work with members of the House of Representatives in fostering a balanced government and getting things done for the Liberian people. His collaborative approach and bipartisan support have been noted by observers, with praise extending to international circle for his leadership. Observers on Capitol Hill say Speaker Kofa's leadership was the main reason the War and Economic Crime Code joint resolution was archived. Some points to the open praise of Speaker Kofa on the U.S. Embassy Facebook page as early signs of international approval for Speaker Kofa's leadership of the Liberian legislature. The Kofa gavel has risen above partisan politics in many ways, especially when President Bwaka requested special financing to carry on the function of government in the absence of the national budget. Speaker Kofa has proven to ignore political differences for the good of the Liberian people. The establishment of critical laws and resolutions working towards economic empowerment, bridging political divide for the greater national good, have been key features of Speaker Kofa's first 100 days in office, signaling for forward-looking and inclusive approach to governance in Liberia. With this being said, this is how we move over to the New Dawn newspaper. Representative Benson seeks establishment of tourism authority. So Representative Benham Benson, a renowned DJ, is making a lot of headway in the Liberian communication cycle. This is another story from him from the New Dawn newspaper. Representative Benson seeks establishment of tourism authority. This jockey-turned lawmaker Bernard Blue Benson is calling for the establishment of a national tourism authority to enhance tourism in the country. To boost the tourism sector of Liberia, Montserrat County District 17, Representative Bernard Blue Benson writes a plenary of the House of Representatives here seeking to establish a national tourism authority for the country. According to Representative Benson, the bill seeks to establish the proposed Liberian National Tourism Authority in place of the Department of Tourism and Cultural Affairs by amending the Public Authorities Law, Title 30 of the Liberian Code of Law revised. He says the rationale of establishing the proposed National Tourism Authority is to have a statutory body that will be tasked with promoting, developing, and regulating tourism in Liberia. This act aims to harness the country's rich cultural and natural heritage to attract visitors from within around the world, thereby stimulating economic growth, preserving cultural identity, and fostering national development, he explained. The Montserrat County lawmaker notes that by creating the Liberian National Tourism Authority, the bill seeks to centralize efforts to enhance Liberia's image on a tourist destination, facilitate investment in the tourism sector, regulate tourism-related activities, and ensure sustainable management of tourism resources. The bill outlines the authority structures, function, powers, and financial vision, as well as transnational arrangement for employees and repute of consistent law. Overall, the eye aims to promote the growth and sustainability of the tourism industry in Liberia for the benefit of the economy, society, and environment. Representative Benson, who chairs the House Committee on Information Broadcasting, Culture, and Tourism, is at the same time requesting timely passage of the bill into law to promote, develop, and regulate the tourism sector in the country. With this being said, this is how we move over to another headline. Government defends retirement of 200 EPS agents. Government defends retirement of 200 EPS agents. The Unity Party-led government alleged that its predecessor hastily recruited the agents into the EPS without proper recruitment procedure. Liberia Information Minister Jeremy Matthew Pia has defended a necessary retirement for some elite presidential guard executive protection service EPS agent. Pia alleged that the former Weah-led regime hastily brought agents into the EPS without proper recruitment procedure that fall in line with the code and ethics of the EPS. Minister Pia told a press conference on Wednesday, April 2024, that EPS Director Sam Gay made the right decision in dismissing over 200 EPS agents. Reports suggest that the agents were removed from their position due to allegations of their perceived loyalty to former President George Weah. With the recent controversy surrounding their retirement, Minister Pia suggested that it was necessary to reduce the EPS overcrowding with agents hastily brought into the entity by the Weah regime without proper recruitment procedure. Under President Bouakar's administration, Mr. Sam Gay, new EPS director, dismissed 200 EPS agents. Since the dismissal, the affected agents have made efforts to involve legislators, leading to clashes between the police and former EPS officers over the weekend. On April 22nd, 2024, the affected agents petitioned lawmakers to intervene by summoning Director Gay to explain to the 55th legislature why they were unlawfully dismissed. While the House has yet to respond to agents' call, Minister Pierre, in a press conference led on Tuesday, stated that the Bouakar government sought to investigate the overcrowding of the EPS from 2017 to present. Through the investigation, Pierre noted that over 200 agents violated the agency employment law. According to him, the law states that join the EPS, you must be a Liberian citizen aged 18 to 35 and have a high school diploma or higher education. Additionally, he explained that those who do not meet the requirement must possess technical specialized skills, but Pierre revealed that the retired EPS agent lacked this requirement. So when the Vargas administration came into office, and considering the significant growth of the EPS over 800 employees, he had to assess whether all enrollment and enlistment were consistent with these requirements, he explained. This is to a thorough review to ensure all enrollment and enlistment adhere to the specific criteria, he continued. It was discovered that several officers did not meet the established requirement, with some even presenting falsified certificates. Many of the retired agents' certificates were found to be fake, according to the Information Minister. As the government spokesperson, he emphasized his responsibility to stay informed about matters concerning the government. Though he acknowledged hearing some EPS officers claiming that this measure was illegal, he has stressed that only a court of law can determine the validity of their concerns. He encouraged affected officers to pursue lawful avenue to address grievances rather than resorting into threats or resisting. He clarified that EPS officers are only armed during operational assignment and emphasized that the temporary nature of the firearm possessions. He warned that any threats made in possession of these weapons are taken seriously, as demonstrated by the subsequent arrest and detention of those involved. He urged affected officers to seek recourse through legal channels and caution against further threats or intimidation tactics. He emphasized the importance of upholding professionalism and adherence to the law within EPS, stating, "How can someone speak to such action to fit or serve in proximity to the president?" With this being said, this is how we will entertain a short break. When we come back, we fill you in with development regarding the Front Page Africa newspaper. Hello dear, my name is K. Lyndon Toba. I'm in search of a platform where I can get credible information of our daily happenings in Liberia and the world at large.
Hello, K. Lyndon Toba. My name is Greg Courage. Haven't you heard about Focal Online TV?
You say Focal Online TV?
Focal Online TV is located within a Tobo village community along the Japanese highway.
Tell me more about the platform.
This platform, called Focal Online TV Daily Edition of Inside the Print Media, does not encourage any form of dialogue between the viewers and the presenters.
Oh, you mean nobody calling there?
No, you can't call on a show. Let me talking out like when we're no calling there. So all you can do is you will listen to the news, and they can also encourage you to buy the newspaper to listen to the news in details.
But do you do viewer recognition at times?
Oh yes, we do viewer recognition. When you are watching, we notify you, and sometimes we even appreciate you on a show, telling you thank you for always following us. We also encourage you to share the live stream, because the more you share the live stream, we transform and we transition ourselves as a broadcast team as well.
Wow. So when can I better get this program you are talking about?
This program is aired every Monday to Friday at 10 a.m. to 10:45. The program runs for 45 minutes.
Wow.
And guess what?
Wow.
We bring you hot stories of our trending situation within our country, Liberia. Imagine hearing stories from Hot Pepper newspaper, from the Daily Observer newspaper, from Front Page Africa. Are you a lover of Front Page Africa?
Oh yes, I'm a lover of
Front Page Africa, and the Women Voices, and a lot more. Not forgetting international news, BBC,
wow.
CNN, ABC News. We bring you headlines from those standpoints.
Wow, that is very, very, very amazing.
So we say, join us every day on the daily edition of Inside the Print Media at 10 a.m. with the headlines of top stories in our country and the world at large on Focal Online TV.
Strictly over to the Front Page Africa newspaper. VP Kung, Vice President Kung, fails to turn out to vote in Nimba senatorial by-elections amid concern over who he supports in the House Sticks election. I will read the headlines again. That sounds very fascinating. VP Kung fails to turn out to vote in Nimba senatorial by-elections amid concerns over who he supports in the high-stakes election. Vice President Jeremiah Kun didn't cast his vote during Tuesday's senatorial by-elections in Nema County, much to the disappointment of his supporters and party's members. Nimbadians voted in a by-election created as the result of the former Senator Kun rise as vice president to Joseph Bimon Boakan of the Unity Party on October 10, 2023. Vice President Kun is number 92 on the voter roll displayed at the polling place 2 at the Young Men Christian Association precinct in Ganta. Journalists arrived at the venue of the precinct early enough and waited until 6 p.m. without the vice president in sight. Based on the National Elections Commission's election guideline, anyone not in the line at the polling place by 6 p.m. could not be permitted to vote in the election. There were a few voters in the line at the time journalists left the vice president's polling center at 6:15. His wife Stephanie Dankun and his aide, however, voted at polling place 2. The vice president has always voted at the Young Men Christian Association YMCA precinct since he first contested as representative of Nimal District 1 in 2011 and again voted at the same polling place during the re-elections in 2017. In 2020, he was one of the first voters to cast his vote at the same center during the senatorial May-term election. He voted during the 2023 presidential election when he contested as running mate to Boakan. The reason for the failure of the Liberian vice president to exercise his civil responsibility was yet unknown at the time of filing this report. Vice President Kun absence has generated mixed feelings in the county. Opponents say the former Nema County lawmaker is trying to salvage the strained relationship between him and his political godfather, Senator Prince Johnson, who has fallen apart with the Unity Party and rather supports Samuel Koga of the People Unification Party. VP Kun's strength and relationship with Prince Johnson. Senator Johnson and his entrenched political godson, Vice President Jeremiah Kun, appears to be at war over their choice of candidate in the election. Senator Johnson supports Representative Koga, while VP Kun has declared support for Twawan. Unlike other disagreements between Vice President Kun and Senator Johnson, which are often shrouded in secrecy, the raging battle between the Nema senator and the vice president has been snowballed into a majority discussion in the country and county and could affect the outcome of the election. Nimbadians in their characteristic manner are deeply divided on who is right or wrong, but not so for political pundits and victims of betrayal. But then the vice president has caught of the golden hand that fed him. Vice President Kun arrives in politics since 2011 owed much to Senator Johnson's support. It was Senator Johnson's support that paved the way for his re-election as representative in 2017, and similarly, he campaigned for Vice President Vice President Kun in 2020 to become senator at the expense of the former political ally Thomas Groupie. Senator Johnson is in an extensive interview with a local radio station has explained reason behind his face off with the vice president's choice. Senator Johnson, who initially said he didn't want to talk about the matter, later declared, "Give a man a power and money. That is when you will know the person. If you have not given a man power and money, don't say you don't know the person. He may be your friend. He may be your son, sister, mother, or father. I don't want to go into that." Low turnout, peaceful pool. Voting commenced in some of the precinct centers in the Saniquale and Bar region early Tuesday with a low turnout of voters. A visit by a reporter observed that most polling staff at the precinct areas arrived early with election materials. Some of the voters who spoke to Front Page Africa expressed their joy to participate in the pool, saying that they wanted to perform their civic responsibility. Mr. Moses Yomi, a voter, told Front Page Africa after voting that he was glad to have participated in the election. He appealed to NEC to allow the will of the people prevail in the election. We are appealing to the National Elections Commission to allow our vote to count and let the will of the people prevail. We must get what we voted for without any manipulation at the end of the election, he said. A 60-year-old resident of Sanikule, Samuel Dolo, commended the government of Liberia for ensuring adequate security for the people, saying the atmosphere was very peaceful. Dolo also commended the security agency for being fully responsible on the ground to protect the voter without any form of intimidation. We urge NEC to do the needful and give us what we voted for. They should not manipulate the result of the election, he said. With this being said, this is how we would love to take a very short break. When we come back, we bring you development pertaining to Front Page Africa. Hello dear, my name is K. Lyndon Toba. I'm in search of a platform where I can get credible information of our daily happenings in Liberia and the world at large.
Hello, K. Lyndon Toba. My name is Greg Courage. Haven't you heard about Focal Online TV?
You say Focal Online TV?
Focal Online TV is located within a Tobo village community along the Japanese highway.
Tell me more about the platform.
This platform, called Focal Online TV Daily Edition of Inside the Print Media, does not encourage any form of dialogue between the viewers and the presenters.
Oh, you mean nobody calling there?
No, you can't call on a show. Let me talking out like with no calling there. So all you can do is you will listen to the news, and they can also encourage you to buy the newspaper to listen to the news in details.
But do you do viewer recognition at times?
Oh yes, we do viewer recognition. When you are watching, we notify you, and sometimes we even appreciate you on a show, telling you thank you for always following us. We also encourage you to share the live stream, because the more you share the live stream, we transform and we transition ourselves as a broadcast team as well.
Wow. So when can I better get this program you are talking about?
This program is aired every Monday to Friday at 10 a.m. to 10:45. The program runs for 45 minutes.
Wow.
And guess what?
Wow.
We bring you hot stories of our trending situation within our country, Liberia. Imagine hearing stories from Hot Pepper newspaper, from the Daily Observer newspaper, from Front Page Africa. Are you a lover of Front Page Africa?
Oh yes, I'm a lover of
Front Page Africa, and the Women Voices, and a lot more. Not forgetting international news, BBC, CNN, ABC News. So we bring you headlines from those standpoints.
Wow, that is very, very, very amazing.
So we say, join us every day on the daily edition of Inside the Print Media at 10 a.m. with the headlines of top stories in our country and the world at large on Focal Online TV.
Our esteemed followers who are always following our presentation relative to the program Inside the Print Media. Emmanuel B. Zor, he says, I'm watching from Battery Factory Community. Chairman Emmanuel B. Zor, we say thank you for always following us. So for those of you who are following but refuse to comment, let's run strictly over to the final publication from the Front Page Africa newspaper. Senator Sir Joseph proposes $3 million to combat fire outbreak in Montserrat County. Senator Sir Joseph proposes $3 million to combat fire outbreaks in Montserrat County. In the wake of the unprecedented increase in fire disasters in Liberia, Montserrat County Senator Sir Joseph has proposed a budgetary allotment of $3 million towards the purchase of 17 fire trucks for the districts in the county. In recent time, several Liberians have lost their life and property worth thousands of United States dollars, damaged because of increase in fires incidents across Monrovia and other parts. Addition, hundreds of others have been made homeless, thereby compelling them to seek refuge in the homes of family, friends, and loved ones. The homes of Senator Joseph and the Speaker of the House of Representatives were also destroyed because of fire incident. But in a communication address to the plenary of the Liberian Senate, Senator Joseph observed that in the recent months, Montserrat County have been besieged by a series of devastating fire outbreaks resulting in significant loss of lives and properties. It described the prevailing situation as a national emergency, noting that as custodian of public welfare and governance, it is imperative that we collectively address this pressing challenge. I write to your esteemed office and esteemed colleagues today with a matter of utmost urgency and concern regarding the recurring fire incidents within Montserrat County. As the duly elected senator of the citizens of Montserrat County, it is incumbent upon me to bring this critical issue to the attention of the Liberian Senate. Therefore, I humbly request the support and intervention of the Liberian Senate in advocating for emergency budgetary allotment for 3 million United States dollars to purchase and ship 17 fire trucks and accessories to Liberia. Additionally, Senator Joseph pointed out that the funds are required to cover manpower recruitment and training for the establishment of a comprehensive and adequately resourced National Fire Service response mechanism to cover the 17 districts in Montserrat County. He maintained that the intervention will permanently address fire prevention and response within Montserrat County and ensure that the Liberian National Fire Service is equipped with the necessary firefighting apparatus and personnel. He added that the proposal will also help to mitigate the risk of future fire incidents and ensure the safety and security of citizens. In an interview with legislative reporters shortly after the debate on his communication, Senator Joseph pointed out that his proposal is intended to build the capacity of the Liberia National Fire Service to timely respond to fire outbreaks. He noted that despite rampaging wave of fire disasters in the country, neither the Liberia National Fire Service nor importers of electrical materials, including wires, has taken responsibility. He says citizens, especially fire victims, continue to express doubt and speculation. He observed that though others think that the proposed amount of the purchase of the fire truck is huge, the government could have expanded more than 1 million if he was to be consumed by the fire outbreak at his residence in Congo Town outside Monrovia. Senator Joseph pointed out that there have been no incentive from national government to citizens who have lost their lives and property because of the fire outbreak, and classified the situation in Montserrat County as a national emergency because fire incidents have been repeated on a daily basis. He further observed that the Liberian National Fire Service most often takes more time to reach a various home or business engulfed by fire due to many reasons, including construction of the alleyway. But the availability of fire trucks in every district in Montserrat, Senator Joseph added that the agency will be swift in executing its assigned tasks and responsibility. He stated that a fire outbreak in any of the districts could receive helping hands from adjacent districts to prevent the spread of the fire to consume more lives or property if his proposal is endorsed by the government. Yesterday was Senator Sir Joseph. Today is the Speaker of the House of Representatives. Tomorrow, who next? Every night there is a house on fire in Montserrat County. Senator Joseph, though his proposal is not intended to deny the remaining counties from benefiting from the workings of the Liberian National Fire Service, it is intended to place more emphasis on Montserrat County, which is the most populated county that has been heavily affected by the fire outbreak in Liberia. All of the major fire incidents that took place in Liberia are in Montserrat County. So we are taking this by the horn. We are focusing on Montserrat as a national emergency. We hope amendments to our communication will be made for other counties to benefit. He said that the increase in the number of casualties because of the incident could be drastically reduced if his proposal is taken into consideration. Senator Joseph, however, encouraged his colleagues to take decisive action to protect the lives and livelihood of Liberia and promote good governance and public service. He vowed to officially communicate his proposal to President Joseph Diamond Boaka to expedite the actualization of his suggestion. He expressed the regret that since the fire incident at his residence 2 months ago, the Liberia National Fire Service has failed to release its findings into what led to the incident. Like other citizens, Senator Joseph disclosed that he is not waiting for report from the agency anymore. He used the occasion to commend community dwellers for the effort they continue to apply to rescue their neighbors and their properties during the fire outbreak. The lives and the lives and property that have been lost and destroyed because of fire outbreaks are even more than 3 million are proposed. To move this country forward, we must be able to look at the issues that affect our people on a daily basis. Meanwhile, the proposal from the coalitions of Democratic lawmakers has been sent to relevant committee of the Liberian Senate for further action. So, folks, this is how we end up with our news presentation. We read to you stories from the Daily Observer newspaper, stories from the New Dawn newspaper, and lastly, story from the Front Page Africa newspaper. Again, let us go and acknowledge those who are following us. Emmanuel B. Zol say I'm watching from Battery Factory community. So Emmanuel is the only commentator so far, even though we have more than one commentator, more than one people watching us. So this is how we will wrap up on today's news presentation. My name is K. Lyndon Toba, and thanks to Angel we are for playing the role as a technical assistant to guide us in the efficiency of this broadcast. Many, many thanks to all of you who have been there watching this program. My name is K. Lyndon Toba, and this is how we draw down the curtain on today's presentation.